friends, I'm Miss Savannah here at Phinizy Swamp. Thanks for tuning in to our video number 2 for our Science and Math Challenge series. So hopefully you guys were all able to look at the worksheet from last time where you were calculating the season averages of rainfall. So today we're going to go a little bit more into detail about those things. So I'm not going to go over all of the answers attached to this video. We'll have the answers posted so you guys can kind of check them and everything like that. But what we're actually going to do now is I want to take a look at some of our calculations here. So hopefully you guys found that the winter season overall average from 2008 to 2018 was 3.76 for the average rainfall. And then when you just calculated from 2019 to 2020, that season average was 6.63. So as you guys can see, that is a really big difference. We got a significant amount of rainfall this past winter season. So from looking at those averages, hopefully you guys can really see the differences there. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to calculate the overall average. So we're now going to include the numbers here from 2019 to 2020 winter season. So if you guys, I know that you added all of these up last time and then you divided them by 11 in order to get this season average. So when you add all of these up here, what we actually get is 41.32. So now we're going to add in this average from 2019 to 2020, and we're going to get 6.63. Okay, so let's do some math here. Okay, so we have 47.95, and now since we're including this season, we're going to be dividing this by 12. So for the sake of time, I'm actually just going to use my calculator real quick to do this math. So we have 47.95 divided by 12. Okay, so that equals about 3.99, which we are going to round to 4. So for the overall average, including this past winter season, it's about 4 inches of rainfall. So, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take all this data a step further, and we're going to practice some graphing. So let me erase this. Okay guys, so we are going to get started with our graph here. So the first thing we need to do is draw our 2 axes. So I'm going to draw a line here and the line across here. Okay, so what's important to remember is that this is the x-axis. So a way that you can remember that is that if you make an X with your body, your arms are kind of going, you know, straight across, like horizontal, like the x-axis. And then this is the y-axis. And if you go to make a Y, it's more up and down. So that's one way that can help you remember which is the X and which is the Y. And then the x-axis always has the independent variable, which in this case we are looking at time. And our time is the winter season. And that's based on the year. Okay, so that's what we have for our x-axis. And then our y-axis, this is where we have our dependent variable. And that is going to be our average rainfall. And that's going to be in inches. Okay, so now that we have both of these labeled, what we can go ahead and do is write in the years here. So if you guys look back at that worksheet, you can see that we're starting with 2008, and then we're also going to include this latest season here. So we'll go ahead and write the years on here. Okay, so we have 2008 all the way to 2019. And then for our average rainfall, if we look at the amounts here for the season average, the highest that we have is actually this past winter season, which is 6.63. So we know that we don't really need to go above 7 when we're doing our intervals on this side here. So we're going to start here with 0. And then I think that it's best that we use 0.5. So we're going to increase by 0.5 as we go up on the axis here until we get to 7. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. And you guys can make your graphs look much nicer than mine. I'm not used to writing on a whiteboard. So you guys can be creative with however, if you want to use different colors or things like that. But what I'm going to do now is we're just going to actually plot the first winter season here. So 2008 to 2009, the season average was 3.55. So we're going to look at the first year here, and we're going to go up to 3.5, and then it's 3.55. So I'm just going to go a tiny bit above that. And that's going to be our first number there. Now, what we're also going to do is the overall average, which I calculated earlier for you guys, is 4. So we are going to draw a line on the graph. Okay, so that as we're plotting our points, we can see how each year the average compares to the overall average. And then once you guys plot all your points, you can make kind of lines in between them to make a line graph, and then we'll go over the results next time, and then we'll have a new challenge for you next week. So thanks for tuning in to this this video this week, and we look forward to talking to you guys again next week.